Boxing's never seen nothing like this in the history of boxing. Since it began 250 years ago, it's never seen anything like this. I believe this is going to be great for boxing. I believe we're going to win.
Half after the fight is over, then so be it. I'm already in a no-win situation anyway. To me, it's a win-win. But I'm in a no-win because if I knock him out fast in the first round, they're going to be like, oh man, this wasn't worth it. If I let it go a few rounds and drag it out, they're going to be like, oh man.
I've been in the gym training, and I'm boxing professional fighters. Activity is great. I had 15 fights in 1 year when I was younger, and I think activity is great, but I'm prepared. I'm just ready to go.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson get into a heated argument in person, yelling at each other as tensions rise between the two boxing stars.
Didn't even bring that shit up no more.
No, they should bring it up.
Okay.
They should see the difference from there to now.
Gotcha.
Me at my worst, to me at the biggest event in the history of events right now. There's never been any bigger than this. So what they have to say about that?
What does that say about you if you lose?
Well, I'm not gonna lose. So I can't even fathom losing. I can't even imagine it. I think he thinks this is gonna be a very easy night. It's not gonna be an easy night.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. stays confident, even though their fight got hot. He is fully himself and ready to show that he still has that skill and fire.
Get on cruise control, go out there, have some fun, and do what I do best. And that's beat Floyd Mayweather.
Mike Tyson says he is ready for the fight and has been training harder than ever. He looks sharp and is sure he will be able to handle the situation.
The fighter's waiting for his money. By the time he gets his money, everybody else took their percentage out already. So you don't know who's who. You get what they give you.
You look good. How you feeling physically?
Incredible.
You've been training?
Listen, I was wearing an extra large. It looks like I could wear a large.
Rafa El Cordero, Mike Tyson's manager, said that Tyson is in better shape and more alert than he was before his fight with Roy Jones.
Perfect time with perfect place now. Where's Mike? Put everything together. So mentally, physically, we're excited, man. Excited. If the fight was next Saturday, you will be ready for it. We talk about Roy was 4 years ago. Today, Mike is much better than he was when he fought.
Mike Tyson is in great shape at training camp. He is sparring at full strength, pushing himself to the limit, and working very hard for the next fight.
Okay. Calm, be relaxed.
Round one. Boom. Few. Cut the ring. Exactly. Cut the ring. Exactly.
Jeff Mayweather says that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has always liked playing the bad guy. And a fight with Mike Tyson could test his reputation and show how confident and skilled he is.
Why? It's easy, because Floyd always was the bad guy. Once again, he's gonna be the bad guy. And I think that if there's any way to try to remove his O, it may happen.
Tony Jeff recently said that Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s return is driven by ego because he doesn't like being pushed to the background, especially after Tyson versus Jake Paul.
We've got to make as much money as we can while we can and then get out of the sport. But with these two, they're multi-millionaires. And I want to get into the tail of the tape and talk about exactly the records and all of that stuff with it. But first, I just want to say, I believe that these are doing this for different things. Mike Tyson is doing it purely for the money. Purely for the money. Floyd is doing it for the money as well, but also I believe Floyd's doing it for that limelight. They've seen the numbers that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul got, and I think this is the most viewed fight of all time. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. I might be wrong in saying that, but I'm sure it was. It was hosted on Netflix. And Floyd's been one in the past with his ego that he wants to just, be in that limelight all the time. And when you're not in the limelight all the time, you want to have...
Floyd Mayweather Jr. works hard in camp and moves with amazing sharpness and quickness. He looks deceptively young while showing the speed and accuracy that made him famous in his prime.
Right hand hook. Again. Hook right hand. Slide and drop. Punch it, point it, help me go. Drop. Walk it. Pitch it. 6. Punch it. Pitch it.
Short. Look at it.
Watch it. I said that like I had my distance. That's why I said, see, I have my distance. Fighters don't know their distance. You gotta know your distance.
Floyd hits the heavy bags with skill and force, showing off his speed, technique, and steady concentration.
Watch it. Again, touch the gun. Hedge it. Hedge it.
As boxing stars come back for exhibition fights, analyst Henry has worries about the future of the sport. He says that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is related to Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao is set to meet Rosalind Pnikov. He thinks that these meetings are happening because of the chance to make money rather than because they are necessary for sports. It makes him feel uncomfortable and out of sorts, especially when older fighters are brought back for another round. Concerns about Tyson have grown even stronger since his recent return to the ring against Jake Paul, which has already caused a lot of discussion.
Mayweather's taking on Mike Tyson of all people. that's the most money motivated thing I've ever heard. It's utterly bizarre. And I don't want to see Mike Tyson anywhere near the ring again, especially after that Jake Paul fiasco. This whole thing's incredibly weird. I don't like it. I'm a proper boxing fan, and these fights to me, this OAP stuff they've got going on when they bring back these old fighters for one more go at each other, it's just not something that I particularly enjoy. Now look, it's going to be on Netflix. It's probably going to be a massive event. I'm probably going to end up covering it because they are two former champions of note and it is going to go on their professional records. But if you thought the first fight wasn't particularly entertaining, I can't imagine this one's going to be much better. The one thing I will say is that I believe Pacquiao's in better condition than I realized after the effort he put in against Matt.
Henry does agree, though, that the event will be huge, especially since Netflix will be there. There is interest, even though there is criticism. He looks at decline as the real plot and asks who has lost more of their edge. Mayweather hasn't done anything in a while. Pacquiao, on the other hand, has fought more people overall. The uncertainty is interesting even to people who are strict and don't agree with the idea.
Has not had a proper fight in such a long time, which you could argue means he won't be as sharp in the ring. But then on the other hand, Pacquiao's had way more fights than Mayweather has, so you could argue he's got less left in the tank. It's difficult to figure out what it means for either guy, and we don't really know which way it's going to go. But I guess, if I'm being really honest, as much as I don't love it, there's always going to be a little bit of intrigue there. Kind of don't like myself for it, but I'm just being honest with you guys. And I think if we want to have a real conversation about what this fight represents is a continued frustration around the truth about the first fight, which was that it came too late, and it turned into more and more of a cash grab. This fight embodies that to a whole new level. Even for the broadcaster Netflix, I don't believe they're truly invested in the sport of boxing. They'll take one-off big events that get them more subscribers, that increase their revenue, that increase their subscription base, but they don't really care about the sport. If they did, they'd be putting on a lot more events than just these mega fights that involve, influencers and fighters that are well past that.
Adola is very worried about the fight that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson are said to have had in Congo. He isn't sure if the event is still going or fading away. The announcement came out in February, even though the fight was supposed to happen in September. This makes him confused. When compared to the usual 3 or 4 month promotion cycle, the difference seems huge. Either there is a huge build-up happening around the world, or there is confusion going on behind the scenes. He also looks into Netflix's way of making events that are mostly about spectacle.
We also talk about Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in the Congo. Is that now scrapped? Why are they announcing this several months before the event? I mean, is it a massive build-up? I mean, when you think about it, most fights are announced 3 months, 4 before an event. This one, September. We are in February, people. Like, what is going on? I mean, what are Netflix doing? Netflix are kind of, obviously they're picking up and putting on really random stuff. Like Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. If you are an MMA fan, that fight was supposed to happen way more than a decade ago. Way more than a decade ago. They're doing it now. Will it get big numbers? I guess it kind of will. They've obviously done the Jake Paul stuff. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul versus AJ. They done massive numbers. Crawford Canelo, a serious fight, and then they're doing...
The site is designed to appeal to a wide range of people, from crossover ideas to the big crowds that Jake Paul events bring in. 8 agrees that the method is likely to work, even though it seems random. Even though he has doubts, he talks like a true Floyd Mayweather Jr. fan. His interest in boxing went from Mike Tyson to the British greats, and then back to America because of Floyd's brilliance. He thinks Mayweather is a unique person who is good at both business and ring intelligence. Like Conor McGregor is good at his own field.
Massive, massive Floyd fan. Like, my journey into boxing, obviously when I was young, it was very much Mike Tyson, but then it went and became a UK thing. The ITV days of, I don't know, Ben Eubank, etc., Michael Watson, and then eventually Joe Calzaghe, Prince Nassim, etc., etc. My reason for going back and watching American boxing is solely down to Floyd. Like, I was obsessed with everything Floyd Mayweather did. I thought he was a genius when it comes to marketing and a genius in the ring. Like, it's very rare that the two go together, which is why I think everyone kind of fell in love with Conor McGregor, right? Because Conor McGregor was a genius outside the ring in terms of how to sell a fight. And in the octagon, he actually proved that he can fight as well. Floyd, obviously on a completely different level, but you know what I mean? Very similar. Someone that talks the talk and walks the walk. And Floyd most certainly did it.
Wade Plemons says what he really thinks about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s decision to fight again, focusing on the difference between reputation and money. He says that fans might be let down by seeing a boxer as big as Floyd fight again at this point, because it shows that the choice was made for money rather than love of the sport. Fans who have been following the player for a long time are worried that a desire for money will overshadow a great career.
Mayweather had financial troubles because of the money he owed to the IRS, because of the terrible, terrible business and real estate investments that he's made, and apparently some of these have gone under, and he is owed back rent, or he is owing back rent, and he is delinquent on a lot of payments for a lot of different things right now. These things seem to have added up for Floyd, and now it's pretty apparent that not only is he doing these, bank robbery style exhibitions, but it looks like he absolutely needs to do it, which is very, very sad. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Floyd Mayweather as an individual outside of the ring, but I never want to see athletes have their money mismanaged or mismanage their own money so badly that they go broke in retirement, and it looks like that's kind of what's happening. And here's a snippet from Business Insider because it made me want to pay for the entire...
The media has been speculating about Floyd's money, but Plemons has clearly denied any claims of financial hardship, making it clear that the fighter is not struggling to meet his obligations. He says that stories saying there is a lot of debt are false and don't show the real situation. In spite of this, he freely admits that the event is clearly profitable and that the money is a big reason why it happens. Some people might see this as disappointing or just for business reasons, but Plemons sees it as a deliberate choice that balances Floyd's drive to be competitive with the realities of chance. He thinks it's both a show for the crowd and an example of how well Mayweather is handling his business and image.
Strongly denies he's any kind of financial distress, but the headlines aren't slowing it down. $54 million alleged dollars in debt. So it makes sense why they would want to do this, and it's strictly for money. Let's be honest. This is a clear money grab, but this is going to be a terrible fight. This is not going to be a fight that anyone outside of watching Mike Tyson walk to the ring and the idea that maybe he'll knock out the little guy and Floyd that Tyson for a long time didn't like. For a long time called Floyd Floyd a small little angry man or a small little scared man because he couldn't walk his kids to school by himself, mainly because Floyd had, yeah, he kind of disrespected Muhammad Ali, who was Mike Tyson's favorite fighter and one that he would never put himself above. But Mike's 60 years old. And if there was a time for Mike to get him and knock him out or whatever, it never would have happened because they were in completely different weight classes and XYZ. If you wanted to settle it outside of boxing, that's one thing, but now they're stepping into this exhibition. There's not going to be any weight classes.
Fans are divided over Ariel Helwani's strong feelings about the upcoming fight between two boxing stars. He doesn't think the fight is necessary and doesn't see why boxers should be brought back at this point in their lives, as both athletes are well past their prime and not at the peak of their physical abilities. Helwani thinks the match is more of a show than a real competition. He is worried that the risks might be greater than the fun and money that could be made. He stresses that the health and safety of the fights should come first. Helwani's comments are part of a bigger debate in boxing about bringing back former champions, especially when it seems like the events are held for money or attention rather than real competition. Fans may be excited to see famous people in the ring, but Helwani warns that getting older will always slow people down and make them less durable. He thinks the fight is pointless and might hurt the careers of both boxers instead of helping them.
These economic times, there's economic challenges. These corporations and companies, they're looking to make profit. And if they put out a pay-per-view and a lot of people, another thing is the fighters. I'm blaming the fighters too, because there's a lot of guys, they're not bigger than the fighters of yesteryear. That's why you can have a Floyd Mayweather and a Mike Tyson, whose brands are so big. This is going to be a big fight. It's going to be, just because it's a freak show, circus fight, whatever you want to say. Some people are going to be mad at it. I don't want to see it, blah, blah, blah. But the curiosity is always going to get the best of the masses, especially if they put this on Netflix or Amazon or whoever, right? And that's the reality. A lot of these new fighters, Gen Z fighters, people under 30, they're not marketing.
Johnny Nelson recently talked about how the much-anticipated fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. will work, pointing out things that many viewers might miss. He said that Mayweather still has great speed, power, and accuracy, even though they are older, moving with such accuracy that it amazes even seasoned watchers. When he trains, he hits the bags with the passion and focus of someone who has been practicing for years. Nelson also talked about the human side of boxing heroes, saying that many times, people decide to return to the ring for reasons other than pride or competition. Some reasons are having to pay the bills, taking care of family, and wanting to stay active in the sport. Some fans are worried about the risks that come with fighters' pasts. But Nelson says that these fighters are still very good athletes who can perform at the highest level by combining experience, natural ability, and careful preparation.
Going up against Floyd Mayweather, this guy was unbeaten as a fighter. He still physically has ring craft. He still physically can move about the ring and do what he has to do. I think for Mike Tyson, he's going to be very frustrated. He will want to lay a shot on him to get rid of him, but unfortunately, you slow down, Father Time gets the better of us all. And even though I think when it comes to a fan's favourite, I'm quite sure most of the fans would love to see Mike Tyson put Floyd in his place, and that's probably what will be the attraction as well. But you've got to remember, Mike Tyson's 59 years old. You've got to remember, Floyd Mayweather is still hitting the bag in the gym. He's still moving around, even though he's 48 years old. But you've got to remember, these guys are individuals, their fathers, their brothers, or whatever, and they still want to earn a massive chunk of money. Where's Mike Tyson? Whatever they're getting paid, where's Mike Tyson at 59 going to earn this kind of money? Where's Floyd Mayweather at this time of life going to make this kind of money? It doesn't matter what we say about legacy. These guys are still going to live. These guys are still thinking, you know what, I'll take the heat, I'll take the criticism, but you know what, my bank account's all right, my family's all right. And I know it's crude, and I know it takes the shine off it, but that's real talk. So these guys are now in a position where where people want to pay them a lot of money to fight each other. It's against somebody they don't like. So again, ego's going to get the better of common sense with Mike, as far as I'm concerned.
That's all for the video today. Watch out. Until the next time.